Think you've got tonight's NBA schedule figured out? What if I told you there's one specific game where star players might mysteriously vanish, coaches could make baffling decisions, or the schedule itself is quietly setting up an epic upset? Tonight, we're exposing the single most unpredictable bet on the NBA slate and why you absolutely need to avoid it. Or maybe, just maybe, pounce on it if you're feeling brave. Tonight's slate of NBA games might look straightforward at first glance. We have the Atlanta Hawks at Toronto Raptors, Charlotte Hornets at Chicago Bulls, and perhaps the most intriguing matchup on the board, the Philadelphia 76ers visiting the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. A classic Atlantic Division rivalry that should be simple to analyze, but looks can be deceiving. Tonight's so-called safe wagers might be the exact ones that bury your bankroll, because betting isn't just about stats and spreads. It's about uncertainty. It's about volatility. And tonight, volatility has a name. On paper, the 76ers versus Knicks matchup should feel predictable. The Knicks are 22-9 at home, backed by one of the loudest crowds in the league. The 76ers sit at 18-14, capable of dominating when their stars are healthy and in rhythm. But when you look closer, something feels off. The Knicks are coming off a loss to Atlanta, a game where the energy dipped, rotations shifted unexpectedly, and execution wavered. Meanwhile, Philadelphia enters off a strong New Year's Day win and hopes to stay undefeated in 2026. But the health of a key star is questionable, and several players have struggled to find consistent rhythm. This is where volatility thrives, because matchups that appear balanced on paper unravel quickly when key contributors are limited, coaching decisions deviate from expectations, or fatigue creeps in unnoticed. Tonight, those aren't theories. They're active variables. Star power sells tickets, but it destroys betting slips when it's uncertain or unreliable. Tonight, the Knicks enter with question marks around key players like Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson, along with lingering injury concerns involving Josh Hart and Landry Shamet. On the other side, the 76ers face their own uncertainty, with Joel Embiid listed as questionable while carrying a heavy early-season workload. But here's the real danger. It's not just about who's officially ruled out. It's about who's technically active but physically compromised. A probable player nursing a nagging issue doesn't behave predictably. They might dominate early and fade late. They might follow structure but disappear in critical moments. They might force coaching adjustments that ripple through the entire rotation. This is the phantom factor, when appearances don't match reality. And this is where tonight's most volatile bet truly begins. If a star is technically in but functionally limited, who adapts? Does a coach trust untested roles? Does the bench suddenly decide the game? These are the silent assassins of betting confidence. Stars and injuries make headlines. Coaches decide margins. Tonight's game isn't just a battle between rosters. It's a chess match of strategic positioning, where volatility hides inside coaching decisions made quietly before and during the game. Some coaches manage minutes with future schedules in mind. Some experiment early and retreat late. Others chase mismatches aggressively or slow the pace to protect fatigued lineups. A coach who shortens rotations too early risks fourth-quarter fatigue. A coach who extends bench minutes risks defensive breakdowns. One may slow the game deliberately to protect experience, while another pushes tempo even if efficiency suffers. When coaching philosophy deviates from expectation, volatility spikes. And tonight, those deviations matter, especially in a matchup where both teams have recently shown willingness to tinker with rotations and pace. The NBA schedule is relentless, and January 3rd is no exception. Some teams enter tonight rested and settled. Others are still dealing with holiday travel, compressed schedules, and mental fatigue. Philadelphia played earlier in the week and travels tonight, introducing another layer of wear. New York hosts at Madison Square Garden, but does so on the second night of a back-to-back after a tough loss to Atlanta, leaving less recovery time and increased mental strain. Fatigue doesn't always look dramatic. It shows up as delayed rotations, short defensive closeouts, lazy cutting, late transition fouls. When both teams carry fatigue into a rivalry game, predictability collapses. This is the schedule serpent. And tonight, it coils tightly around Knicks versus 76ers. As the game tips off, the numbers stop being numbers and start becoming signals. Early possessions reveal identity. Does Philadelphia execute crisply or shuffle lineups urgently? Do the Knicks start slow after travel and emotional carryover? Fatigue shows first in communication, missed switches, hesitation on screens, late help defense. Those moments don't appear on box scores. They announce volatility. At halftime, the score matters less than how it was achieved. Are the Knicks finding rhythm despite health concerns? Are the 76ers forcing star creation under pressure? Adjustments reveal intent. Tightened rotations suggest urgency. Extended minutes signal trust or desperation. The third quarter is where volatility often spikes. Games swing not because one team is dominant, but because fatigue and phantom limitations distort execution. In these moments, totals often reflect chaos more accurately than spreads. By the fourth quarter, volatility chooses a side. Either structure returns or confusion compounds. Sharp observers focus on who closes, which lineups hold, and which players rise when stars fade. In these moments, individual performances often matter more than final scores. Considering all these factors, injury uncertainty, phantom availability, coaching deviation, schedule fatigue, and live flow instability, no game tonight carries more volatility than Philadelphia 76ers versus New York Knicks. Consensus may lean toward the Knicks because of home dominance or toward the 76ers because of recent momentum. But the convergence of variables tells a far more dangerous story. This isn't a stat sheet wager, it's a volatility proposition. Whether you fade it early, wait for live opportunities, pivot to totals, or target player performances, how you approach this game matters more than who any model says should win. Tonight's most volatile bet doesn't come from weakness. It comes from ambiguity. When uncertainty is unpriced, when coaching intent is unclear, when fatigue quietly erodes execution, when stars look present but aren't fully themselves. That's where unpredictability lives. And tonight, that game is Philadelphia 76ers versus New York Knicks. The matchup every bettor should watch first, bet second, and respect throughout.